Ooh, Markdown. Cool. Interesting. So will that be in like in all contexts? Like you can just like use Markdown in chat and whatnot? Oh, that's a nice photo. I feel like there's enough of these you can like animate them, like come up with like some little soundboard or something where you just like have me talk, just like hello. I'm also realizing I wear the exact same shirt in like all of these. It's I have like two variations of it. There's like my gray variation and my blue variation. Occasionally the red variation if I'm feeling crazy. But that's okay. I was reading like the it's not why I do it, but I know if you read why like Steve Jobs like always wore a black turtleneck. I was saying like that's basically just to like save some time in the day. You don't have to decide like what to wear. You just wear the exact same thing every day. It's like a uniform. So it's about efficiency. So that's why I have like my three shirts I just wear most every day. Getting married when? That's a secret. No, I don't know. I'll have like a bunch of bomb squad people show up at my wedding. That could be fun actually. Game on iOS soon. Okay. The standard questions. Game on iOS will be version 2.0. That's the plan. I'm working feverishly towards version 2.0. It's taking a while. I'm slow. I mean, I'm not slow, but there's a lot to do. Um, in the middle of 1.8 right now. I on a related note, yeah, I definitely like it's been fun doing all this server stuff, like scaling up all the servers for the game. Um, for any of you who haven't like seen the maps and whatnot, like a big part of 1.8 or 1.9 or 2.0 is getting all these servers going just so I can like automatically host games all over the world and whatnot. Um, for the upcoming like squad stuff, so I can do like matchmaking and do like competitive games on my own servers. So so here's the map if you haven't seen it of just like all the servers, all the game servers that are running. It's the little orange, the purple dots. Um, but it's this year. It's kind of a funny place because I have all these servers running, but it's like the squad system isn't there yet. So the squad system should make it, hopefully a bit more profitable, or so that, or it'll make it more cost effective to run all these servers. Right now, it's not especially cost effective, so I'm paying for the servers, but not making like extra money by having them going. So I just finished my taxes recently, and it was kind of funny because it was like an anomaly year where I'm like paying a ton for servers, but not getting income from them. So I wound up paying like an extraordinarily small amount of taxes because like those costs like canceled out, which is fine for this year, but it's just it was kind of cool in a way. I've never like paid so little taxes. Not I hope the government's not listening or anything like that, but it's just kind of a funny thing. That happens though. It's like you read about like Amazon and places like that where they're like working on like growth, where they like all the money they're making, they spend that money on infrastructure and stuff like that. So they wind up paying like no taxes because basically those things like cancel out, which gets some people angry at them. But yeah, this year I'm in like a slightly small version of that same boat, but it's interesting. They are taking notes. Yes. If I disappear next week, that's why. What is Teams at Asia SEB1? Oh, um, I'm not sure. That might be me. Actually, let me check. Let's find out. I can show you where, like all my weird names that I come up with for different regions. Um, okay, let me think where that is. Master server source master EC. Hopefully, there's no sensitive information here that I will be giving away to the world momentarily. No, it's AWS is what I want. Okay. Okay, I don't think any of this is super sensitive info. But somewhere here is I have all like my zone information for what everything's called. So like here is an example. Here's zone.Los Angeles, which is all this info about like these are the Amazon zone IDs, description, blah, blah, blah. And then this description, oh yeah, description public. This is what you would see like if I'm hosting a public server there, it would show up as US West C. So let's see if that one is in here. So Asia SE B1. Oh, actually, okay, so it's Asia SE. That's probably like the number. So it's like there's a server probably called Asia Southeast B, which is Kolkata. This is in India somewhere. So yeah. Do you guys have a better name for that? What should that region be called? I had so many names to come up with. It's like we got Africa B, EU Central, Asia Southeast B. Well, there's a bunch of India now. So that's the thing is like there's several more in India. There's Mumbai, I think. Oh yeah, that's okay. So for Delhi, we got India North, India B, and then Asia SE. Okay, all right, this is a big mess. Okay, so Kolkata is Asia SE, Asia Southeast B. What would be a yeah, who knows like how Amazon picks their locations. But that's one of the like here we go. So the purple ones are this isn't all their locations, but these are like the new local ones. So is that Kolkata or yeah, that's Delhi, right? And that's Kolkata. I think those are the two recent ones. There's two more coming here where I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. We got Delhi, Kolkata. And then the ones that are coming would be, oops, announced. It's like Chennai, is that Chennai? And one more. I thought one more. Oh yeah, Bengaluru. Okay, I'm probably saying all these terribly wrong. I apologize. But yeah, there's two more coming in India. I'll probably add those when they become available. But the weird thing is like those are both like I don't know. They're both very close, so I don't know if that would actually be beneficial. But maybe. There's a lot of these where like I wound up adding most of the US ones, but there's some that are just like so close to each other. It's like why it doesn't almost seem worth it. Especially if like I wind up having like one of those servers being mostly empty. It's like then I'm paying for server costs and not really, there's not many people playing on them. So, all right, anyway, enough about server locations. But yeah, Delhi has its own server. So yeah, there is a zone.delhi now. A lot of these, just appeared like a month or two ago. So I added a bunch more servers. I think I posted something about it, but yeah, it's kind of fun. Like I like when that happens when AWS just like makes more locations available because I have it down to kind of a pretty easy process now. I just I come into this file and I fill out one of these and then I like update the server and then it like spins up new servers at that new location. So it's kind of neat. And then I see them pop up on the map and stuff. So I'm assuming Amazon will keep adding more and more and more servers over coming years. So as long as the finances work out, I will just keep adding every server that they make available. So, hi, I am good. How are you? FBI, open up. So yeah, there's nothing too new in servers this week. I'm still there's so many green dots. I'm waiting for these green dots to turn purple because then I can add them. The ones I'm looking forward to are specifically this one here, because if you look at, let's see, like where there's a lot of people playing the game. Maybe not at this time of day, but there's usually a ton of green dots like in this area. So like having a server right there seems like it'll be super useful. Right now, like so many of these people down in South America are like connecting up here to Florida. Like that cannot be good. Or that can't be the best latency. So if I can like put one right in the middle, that'll like nicely subdivide this stuff. And of course, like more in Eastern Europe would be great too. There's a lot of empty space here, but hopefully Amazon will throw us a bone. So yeah, hope you all have been good. We got a few things. Well, was going to be a few things. One of our things from this week will be delayed till next week. So Sock is busy with some movie stuff. Is working on. We're going to do some Explodinary 2.2 testing. Or I guess it'll be 2.3. That'll be next week though. So though, if we still want to play a game at the end of this week, we can. If someone wants to host, we can just do a vanilla one or something like that. So what else is new? I am still terribly slow getting the 1.7.20 update out. Been working on that all week though, aside from finishing my taxes at the last minute, as I mentioned. Exciting new development here is as of 2 days ago, I took a day or two. This always takes, it's like a once a year tradition. It takes about a day or two. It's like I have to go through and like update all the Python versions. So I finally got around to doing that, or I was actually waiting for one thing, like the version of Python there's a repo that I use that builds Python for like Apple systems like iOS and Mac and stuff like that. I was waiting for that one to update to like the latest sub release of Python, which is 3.11.3, but they finally did that. So I took a few days and updated the game. So when 1.7.20 comes out, it will be running import sys.version. So we are now on Python 3.11. Hooray! Which, it's not like a huge difference over 3.10, but it does have some nice new features. So it's always nice to get updated. I feel all like refreshed, like on the once a year when I get the game like updated to the new version of Python. It feels like an insect that's just like molted its skin, where it's just like, oh, this fresh new feeling. So of course, I'm sure, yeah, probably all of you just got set up with 3.10. So sorry, but I'm still not done with 1.7.20 yet. So you can still enjoy 3.10 for a little while. Not sure. I will be adding I do fully plan on adding the game to Steam, putting the game up on Steam for the 2.0 release. That's the plan. The official plan is Steam and iOS. Those are the big two new platforms for 2.0. How long did it take you to make Bomb Squad? It's the initial version, I've told this story probably many times, but initially I made Bomb Squad as just like, it started literally as a weekend project just to make it with friends back when like I had just graduated from college and I was looking around for jobs, and it was just kind of like something to keep me busy while I was doing that. So the initial version was probably maybe like, I don't know, a month or two of work on spare time. But then it just became something which was just like this hobby thing where I would play it with friends or family, like family get-togethers or holidays or something. So I'd just work on it here and there, like for a few months, and then forget about it for a year. And so for a number of years, it was just like this weird background hobby thing. And then, at some point, I released it on like the Mac App Store, and then like on the Ouya and Android. And, once I started releasing it officially, then it started getting more traction. Then I started spending more time on it, but. And then at some point, I was working at Pixar at the time. I left Pixar just to focus on the game full time. So I've been doing it full time for years now. Lots of time on like server stuff, and it's funny how much time you can pour into something like this. But actually, like making a playable original game, it was only like maybe a few weeks or a month or something like that, and it was very basic and very simple. But that was part of my goal there, was just to like make something simple to just play with my friends. Between rounds of Halo. We'd have big like Halo LAN party type things, get a bunch of people over and have like 16-player Halo games. But this was just kind of something to like throw up on the TV and play with those guys, like when they were doing like smoke breaks and stuff like that. Languages on Windows. This is another like little to-do list thing. It is 100% possible. The thing that's missing on Windows is it's not able to display Unicode characters. So the way the game works, for anyone interested, is like a thing games have done for a long time is if you want to display text, you just do it as a texture. So if you come in here and poke around, there is some, let's see, it's under textures. There's a few like font textures in here. Okay, so there's font big, which you recognize this. This is like the big text for, the main menu and stuff like this. But there's also just a few small ones. Where is it? Font extras. Oh yeah, font small, aptly named. So there's just a few of these, which you can see it just has like Latin characters, and there's a few other ones like font small, some accented ones, and Cyrillic ones, things like that. So it's basically enough for like English and Russian and some European languages and things like that. But it only goes up to font small 3, font small 4. There's a few characters here, but font small. Okay. So yeah, it gets up to, I forgot what like Unicode character number it gets up to, but yeah, this is the last one, font small 6. But those are the ones that are just like bundled with the game as textures. So the game, anywhere the game is running, it can show all those characters. But as we all know, there's a ton of characters in the world, a ton of languages, and it's actually, I looked into it to see if it would be possible to create textures for like the entire Unicode range, and it's basically not realistic for a number of reasons. For one, there's just a ton of stuff out there, and for two, there's weird things where a lot of languages, if you show two characters side by side, they look different, so it does like weird, smart, fancy stuff depending on what you're drawing. So basically, in order for the game to be able to show certain languages, the game has to be like, we have to add in code to the game so that it can talk to the operating system and basically say like, hey, Windows, draw this text for me. And so I've done that on Android, and I've done it on the official Mac version, or basically Apple operating systems. So there's a few places where, that's why on Android, you'll kind of notice fonts, like text looks a little bit different if it's like an international characters, or maybe you wouldn't notice because they're kind of like different looking anyway. But if you type something in like Chinese or whatever, it's just basically telling Android to do that. And so that's what we need to wire up on Windows. Like Windows should be fully capable of doing that. We just need to like add the text to say like, hey, Windows, draw this Chinese text for me, or draw this Japanese text, or Hindi, or like any text that doesn't use like I said, those few textures that I just showed you. So anyway, that's a long, random, rambling technical explanation of why Windows can't show all languages yet, but that's just something we need to add. Again, it's on my like definite to-do list before releasing on Steam, is to get that wired up. It's probably like a day of work or something like that. It's probably not too much. It's just one of those things, need to get to it. Like if anyone is feeling super ambitious and wants to hack around in the code and try it, like I can point you in the right direction, but it's a little like, that's not the cleanest code right now. So yeah, that Persian text, that applies to, like I said, most kind of like non-English, non-Central European text. It'll have that problem because it has to ask Windows to draw it, and we aren't doing that yet. Try to add rich presence on Android. No safe way to do it that doesn't violate Discord's policy. Like, I'm curious, like, how does it violate the policy? Or is it just because that's like accessible to anyone or something, or it needs to be more like kind of secret, or like use like keys or things like that, or okay. Yeah, I could see that having some like secret access codes or something like that can't probably be sitting in the source code. Which we can totally do. And as I mentioned, I really want to, especially like invites and things like that. I really want to get that wired into the squad system, like, which is planned for 1.9, but hopefully will be, parts of it will be showing up soon. But I could totally, if there's parts that need to be secret, I could stick those into like the internal part of the library, the part that's like not open sourced and not editable by anybody. So yeah, if someone, I don't know, I could do that anytime if someone wants to work with me on that. Like, if you show me like what needs to be some hidden thing, maybe we could get that going. Counts as self Self-wedding? Boating? Okay. Yeah, I feel bad I haven't like looked into this too much. Like I said, I'm basically kind of heads down right now on the 1.8 stuff, or the 1.720 at the moment, but it's part of 1.8. So this would cover for like Discord integration. That would cover like what parts of it would that cover? That would cover like showing in Discord like what you're doing, right? Because with this, we talked about this a little bit last week. Um, because there's like that part of it, and then like the part I keep mentioning with a squad system is like being able to invite people through Discord into your squad and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it might cover like showing what you're doing too, because it would be like, hey, he's in a squad. Do you want to join him? But yeah, so I guess what I'd say to that is like once I start with the squads testing, I'm definitely happy to jump on that and try to get that integrated in a secretish way or whatever is necessary. Or if someone wants to kind of hold my hand through it right now, I'm happy to add if there's private keys or something like that that need to be added to the internal library. Like I'm happy to do that. Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I really like. I want the squad system to be kind of the foundation for like so much stuff going forward. So I really want it to be as simple as possible in terms of, like oh, share a URL with someone, which will allow them to join your squad, or like here's have them enter this code or whatever, or a Discord invite, or I'd like that to be as open as possible. So yeah. Which brings me, I mean, like brings me to another question. I mean, hopefully it'll be open enough that we can add different ways to like join squads together. But I'm wondering, like, it brings me to the question of like, what is the simplest way that would work for everyone? I mean, it doesn't have to be the only way, but is it something? Because like different games do this different ways, where like you share a code with someone that will let them jump into your squad, or you specifically like maintain a friends list and then you like invite those friends to your squad and that like pops up a notification on their game or something. Um, or I've seen other things where it's like you can just like the mini golf game for VR that I like. I forgot the name of it, but you basically just like enter a chat room name. So it's just like all your friends agree on like this is the name of our little chat room, and we just enter that, and then everyone just like hops into that group. Um, so it's not like one person has to manage inviting other people. It's just like, hey, let's all meet at such and such and such. So makes me wonder like what the simplest way is for that would be the first one that people would see when they jump into the game. Like what's the easiest way to get your friends into your group? So anyone have any like, thoughts on that, or you think like games that do that best or systems that work the best? Join a Discord RPC launches your. So yeah, I'd love for stuff like that to work, where it's just in Discord you click join or whatever, and that could do whatever it needs to do with the game. Um, yeah, I was more thinking like, what is the default? If you're not going through Discord, like what would the default way of getting people together in a group? Like, what would the absolute easiest way to do that be? So yeah, we can certainly do things like like maintain a friends list or whatever, search friends. I guess some of that would be difficult, like search friends. I don't know. I don't want to like have people necessarily give their real names, or like I guess you could search for them by like their V2 account name, stuff like that. We could make that work. And so the thing that'll be a little bit different about the squad system is that it's not going to be like a squad is not going to be like right now um, when you join a party, like the party system, it's basically you're just joining a server, and so the people you're typing with, the people you're interacting with, are all just other people that are connected to that server. But the squad system is going to be a little different because you're going to have like a squad of people that you're playing with, you can type to, interact with, whatever. But that'll be separate from the game you're connected to. So you might be in a squad, and maybe some of you jump into a game or something like that, or you as you're playing a game, like a different round of game, you'll probably be joining different physical servers because like there might be one server that's only like hosting one particular game type. Like you won't actually see all this stuff. It's basically the master server will be just like telling you like, hey, connect to this game, now connect to this game, now to connect to this game. But through all that, like your squad will be the same little set of people. So all I'm saying is like technically it's not going to be all those people are actually connected to a server anymore. It's like they're all basically in a database somewhere on the master server. So it's it'll keep them all talking to each other, but it's not going to be server based, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't matter too much, but just it'll be a little bit like higher level. Six-digit code. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. It's like, should a six-digit code or something be the default? If it, for like a good, clean, like easy to use cross-platform like invite, and then beyond that we could have stuff like Discord where it's more like click on a person you're talking to in Discord and play with them or something. Or other platforms might have their specific invite systems that we could wrap in as well. But I'm just wondering like what would be like a good, easy, cross-platform base layer, like like sharing the six-digit code type thing. Oh, that brings up another question. Alphanumeric. Like I've had this question when I've set up because there's a number of things in the game or like on the server where it like shares a code that you can use to do such and such. And I'm always curious, like, should I be limiting those codes to just numbers or you know because like alphanumeric, basically the letters A through Z, or letters A through Z and the numbers 0 through 9. That works pretty well, but I wonder, do international people, is it sometimes hard for people to type like the letters A through Z if people are using, or do all keyboards in all languages like have A through Z available? That's something I'm wondering. Like, to make things more universal, like, should I stick to numbers only, or do you guys know anything about that? Like, different parts of the world, is that a downside? Yeah, I guess with the copy code button, I guess that's true. Like if as long as most people can use that. But I'm just like if the game tells you to, enter these three, enter like ABC 1 2 3, and then someone has to go and enter that on a website. Like will there be anyone with like using a Japanese keyboard or something like that? Is it hard to enter ABC? I guess that's my question. Like should I avoid the ABC part and just be like 1 2 3 4 5 6? Yeah, I mean, I would assume. Okay, so maybe like everywhere in the world can still do like A to Z easily, or thinking like consoles and stuff too. Like even if a Japanese computer can do that, I mean, if someone's playing on like a Switch or something like that, can they still do that? I don't know. It's kind of a general question I have is like, should I avoid A to Z? I mean, symbols can be. Well, I wonder if symbols have the same. I guess I don't know. There's probably certain symbols that people have access to. I just learned actually. I was reading something like some nerd forum, and it was some like Dutch keyboard or some like European keyboard where it was missing like brackets, or it didn't. Maybe it was just like the Apple version of the keyboard, but it like didn't have certain symbols on it, which are super, used all the time in coding. So it seemed a little bit like ew, like why that's a bummer. Apparently like you could still create those symbols, it's just like you had to like know the key combo to press, but it would just be a bummer to like have to learn that instead of like how do I make a curly bracket. Deep links, I want to have deep links too, like they exist in some minimum form on Android, I believe. Like I think you can do bomb squad colon slash slash and slash, that's hard to say. um, Yeah, there's something in the game that uses deep links, but I forgot exactly what, and I'd like to like generalize it and make it smarter. So at least we could, maybe use deep links for I don't know, whatever would be useful, like joining parties or maybe like watching replays or certain things like that. Or I don't, yeah, I'm trying to think like what would be cool uses of deep links. But it's also like got to remember that we can't like rely on them too, because I feel like people on I have no idea how you'd register deep links on say like the Linux build or something. It probably would involve somebody hacking a config file. Um, Whereas something, like Android or iOS, you can like register that with your app, and then as long as someone installs your app, like those deep links will just work. Um, but that's definitely, like I said, not the case on all platforms. Or if someone builds the game themselves, like off of GitHub, like deep links probably wouldn't work in that case. So, but for cases where they do work, they could be kind of neat. Deep linking. Oh yeah, that's probably it. It's something with yeah, like ticket rewards for signing up friends. Start a background server. Yeah, it's stuff like that sounds scary. Like trying to like I said, I feel like deep links would be one of those things where it's just gonna have to be assumed that it only works on a few platforms, or it doesn't. I mean, it might work if it works on like Android and iOS and like the common ones. I guess that's probably most people, but it's kind of like my philosophy is I don't want to be like totally relying on a feature that is not available to like a significant portion of people. So if that means that if some feature wouldn't work for somebody who's building the game themselves or playing on Linux or something, like I'd feel bad about doing that. But it could still be worth doing for if it's like a supplementary thing where it just makes something work better or whatever. More game modes. Yes, I more characters, more game modes. All that is, I definitely want to do that. That is the closest thing is I think as part of 1.8. A big part of 1.8 is adding downloadable assets and things like that. That's I was waiting for it. There it is. But that's okay. We can have like a once per session roadmap overview. But yeah, so right now I'm in the middle of 1.8 basically. I'm technically working on 1.7.20, which is still part of 1.7, but it basically does a whole bunch of like rejiggering of things to kind of prepare for 1.8. But a big part of 1.8 is adding downloadable assets. So basically making the game so it can download characters, download maps and stuff like that. If you're joining a server that has some map that you don't have, you can just automatically download it or something, stuff to that effect. And once that's in place, then I do plan to take advantage of that technology and add some new characters or, new maps or things that have not been done in a while. I know the set of stuff in the game has been pretty stagnant for years. So I definitely need to, throw some people some bones. I mean, modders have been doing awesome stuff, but that's part of the reason for this 1.8 stuff too, is to make it easier for modders to, share their cool stuff they're doing. So yeah, so that's the next on the roadmap in terms of like new cool stuff in the game is probably at least new characters, maybe some new maps, things like that as part of 1.8. So I will get there as fast as I can. I'm getting ever closer on the 1.7.20. There's still a bit of cleanup that needs to be done. One slight new, well, let's see. Maybe this is a good thing. We'll see. One slight change I'm in the middle of making is, if you remember, there used to be the BA Python module, and a big change in the 1.7.20 or API 8, whatever you want to call it, is that you no longer do everything through BA. You basically import like BA Scene v1 or BA UI v1. There's like specific modules that deal with, like if you're just doing like a modded game mode, you'll import a particular module. Or if you're making a modded UI, you'll import a particular module. And they have kind of long, ugly names, like I said, like BA UI v1 or BA Scene v1. But in all my code, I'm basically doing like a import BA UI v1 as like BUI or something. So in Python, you can do a little thing where you import something with a different name. So you can still use a nice little short name, like for BA Scene v1, I'm just importing it as BS. So it's actually it's back to the name that we used to be using for everything. But I was saying that, like, if you wanted to keep old code working with minimal fuss, you could just import that as like BA. But the downside of that is that BA still existed. BA, that was just like a high level thing that you probably wouldn't be using. Like, but the BA module was still going to be part of the game. But as of this week, it's not. So I'm renaming the BA module to be BA base. So basically, this is just for consistency. So like everything that you'd be using from the game is BA something, but everything has like a name after BA. So what used to be just regular BA is now going to be BA base, but you probably would never be using that. It's basically only used indirectly by other stuff. Like you'll probably only be using like BA scene v1 and BA UI v1. So again, that probably sounds very confusing, but I will get into it more once I finally push this stuff. I can kind of show you guys how to update things. But the reason I got into that long spiel is saying that because BA is no longer a module name, like now it's safe to just import like BA scene v1 as BA if you want. And then you should have to change very little code if you want to just update an old module that way. So it'd just be like changing those few lines. There's probably a few function calls you'll have to change, but you know it should hopefully be decently simple. Can't wait for 1 gig downloads when joining servers. I mean, this is, I know we discussed this before, like how to prevent, I mean, this is something I definitely will need to keep a handle on. Because like, as I was saying, I just paid like, I just did my taxes and looked at like how much I paid for server costs this year. And so it's like, that's a lot of money. So things like bandwidth and stuff, I definitely need to do something to like keep those costs reasonable. So I somehow will need to like put limits or do something, you know, just to make sure people aren't like being super careless with making mods that are bajillion gigabytes, and then having bajillions of people download those. So I'm not sure what that'll mean in terms of limitations or something. It'll just have to be something where I just have to make sure that you know I don't wind up with a bajillion-dollar server bill. So it's definitely like in my interest to encourage people to keep sizes down. So like I said, we'll see what that means. I mean, we could go the route where like people could host their own assets or something like that, but I don't know. To me, that's a little scarier too, because then I have to deal with all the cases like, oh, what if their asset server is overloaded, or you know, what if the URL stops working? Like, how do I deal with those errors and stuff? It's kind of, from a coding perspective, it's easier if I like put all the stuff on my own server where I know it's going to continue to exist unless I delete it and stuff like that. Ooh, that's cool. I like the guides. That's awesome. I saw someone doing that recently for a cube map. Basically, I don't know. Not probably many people run into this, but if you're trying to like program cube maps and trying to like come up with textures for a cube map, basically, you know, it's like an environment texture. You know, so it's like it's like a dice, you know, or a square. It's like 6 images that like line up on the ends. And it is really tricky if you're just like making those 6 images and dumping them in a folder and like trying to turn that into a cube map. It's really tricky to get everything to line up right. It's like, wait a minute, oh, this one's rotated. So I thought someone had like a cool little guide like this for cube maps where it's like it has all these little arrows showing like this is the top of the X texture and this is the left, you know, like trying to, a little guide to help things line up. Oh, that's cool. I need to get, I mean, I hope to at some point, like I haven't touched the graphics engine in a while, but it'd be super cool to get, you know, either simple normal mapping or something like that in there. I know we're lacking that, you know, everything's kind of flat textures, which is, in a way it's okay because there's still, you know, we need to be able to run on like low-end Android devices, but still. Oh, which reminds me, I have to, or yeah, we have one item on the agenda. I don't want to be skipping too much longer, but all right, Barbara, go ahead, show away. Chrome textures are fun. I remember in like early 3D games, I feel like Chrome textures were the coolest looking things ever because I feel like early 3D shading was, It's kind of crummy looking, but like the chrome shading always looked like super cool. Yeah, I should make a proper 3D version of the bomb texture. What is this? Whoa. That is interesting. I've never tried to like play with like 3D apps on mobile or whatever. It does seem like in a way like having like touch based interfaces like could be kind of cool. I keep seeing Ohio mentioned. Is Ohio like a joke right now? I mean, it happens, but I'm originally from Illinois, which is right next to Ohio. So always looking for opportunities to tease Ohio. Oh geez. Okay. I feel like Florida is always memed. Like Florida is a constant state of meme. I remember a few months back, my girlfriend showed me something goofy happened in Poland, like something just like ridiculous, and she showed me some internet thing. It said like Poland is the Florida of the EU or something like that, or it's just like teasing Poland. And I feel like everyone knew what that meant. It's like, oh, Florida. But have you tried this app? Does that work, or like are there actually like phone based 3D apps that work well? Again, it's something I haven't looked into, but it'd be cool. All right, Men in Black Bomb Squad parody. Oh, oh no! Don't tell me my. Oh no. Is this my traditional computer loses internet connectivity except for all the things it's currently doing on the internet problem? Ugh. All right. Well, when this comes up, we will take a look. Oh, my other exciting news is I'm using my. I showed you guys my fancy schmancy smart coffee cup that I got for my birthday. My lady got me. So I'm using that this week. It's very exciting. I can go into my phone and like see exactly how hot my coffee is. It's quite useful. Except I have to remember to like turn it off if I'm like not drinking my coffee anymore. So I don't know. All right. Well, these links will come up at some point. I said I need to do a compilation of all these times that my computer does this weird internet freeze thing and send those to Apple. Be like, look at all these people that are watching your computer not work. Oh yeah, smart light bulb. That would be fun. I had one of those company like one of the Hue or one of them. They actually approached me a few years ago about like doing a tie-in with Bomb Squad or something. They had like some light rig that you could put around your TV, and so it would like change the color of your wall based on what's happening in the game or something. Which I didn't wind up doing that because it seems like it would have been a kind of a rabbit hole that would suck up my attention for a month or two. But like in a way that seems kind of cool. Like, if setting something like that up where like your whole room suddenly is responding to what's happening in the game. For like bombs going off, you could have it like flash or something. Or yeah, like the whole room flashes red if you lose some health. Of course, I could see that being bad too, like wired up with something like Bomb Squad, because then it might look really cool for like a single player game, but then you get like 8 players in there and there's bombs going off everywhere, and then your room just looks like gives everyone epilepsy. I mean, you could do some filtering, or I mean, the game already has to do like if you look in the code, the game has to do some filtering already in terms of like what sounds it plays. Because when you get crazy games with like tons of bombs going off, the game doesn't always play all the sounds. If there's too many sounds happening, it would just kind of be overwhelming. So there's certain things where like if more than 10 sounds have been played in the last tenth of a second, then it won't play anymore until I don't know. I forgot what logic is in there, but I remember I had to at some point add that logic. Also, there's like 16 or 32 audio channels. I forgot what it sets up by default. Maybe it varies per system, but if you play more than that, you run into problems. Or then you have like important sounds that don't get played because there's no audio channels left. So it's it's kind of important to have a little bit of smarts there in terms of like, oh, this sound isn't important, and there's already 5 of these playing. Like maybe we shouldn't play this one. Yeah, well, I kind of feel like ideally, to me, it seems a bit more ideal if you can be smart about like preventing new sounds from playing. Because if you stop an old sound, that might be noticeable. That's just my initial thought. Like if you have a bomb going off and then that bomb sound like stops midway through, it might sound like kind of jarring or kind of broken. I mean, it might be broken too if you see a bomb explode and there's no sound. So I don't know, just different ways of dealing with the same problem, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a lot of thought people have put into this, but yeah, I don't know what the best would be. But yeah, to me it seems like having categories or something saying like, oh, this sound is like a background sound, or this is a not important sound. This is just like someone's feet touching the ground, or something like, if there's a lot going on, don't worry about this sound. No, I do have. This is like my weird situation where it is some sort of bug. I don't know if it's like a hardware bug or an operating system bug or something. Like I love I got this M1 Mac I got a year or so ago, and I love everything about it except this weird bug where it's like the internet is still clearly working, but if I try to do anything, try to go into any website or whatever, it just gets stuck for like 5 minutes. Or if I go to like the About This Mac window, it also gets stuck. So there's something in the OS that is just getting completely like gummed up for like 5 or 10 minutes. At some point it'll get unclogged and everything will come through. But it's like I'm still streaming, so clearly there's still internet connectivity, but it's just like, yeah, something's wonky. I submitted a bug report to Apple, but they've apparently not been able to reproduce it, or just haven't gotten around to looking at it. I don't know, but it's a bit annoying. I don't want to like go through and reinstall my whole OS and like all my stuff, because that's like a day or two process, and I'm sure it would probably still be happening, and then I would just have wasted a day or two. I was looking into DNS issues. Like I changed my DNS server. I've done a bunch of stuff, and I cannot get to the bottom of it. It's so weird. And like I said, it's only like high level stuff, like website loads. If I come in here and do like ping google.com, like this will still go through fine. Like, see, yep, I can talk to the internet, just not in certain ways. Usually, like if it happens while I'm working, I will just reboot because that always fixes it. So that, which I don't know, tells me that it's either some driver issue or some sort of software issue. But yeah, I don't want to reboot right now because I'm streaming. Oh, there we go. Oh, it came.
This is a real B&H customer story.
You see, like everything just like suddenly, it's like constipated, and then suddenly it just like everything goes.
came to B&H to take her photography to the next level.
Cringe alert? Uh-oh. I was gonna say, this has to involve Agent Johnson, right? Trippy. Cool. Well done. I'm curious to like the crazy textures. Like these guys, like where did those come from? Are those just like different textures assigned? Or yeah, it looks like other characters' textures assigned to the... that gives me like a bunch of fun ideas, like recreating, like pick a movie trailer and try to recreate it in your favorite game or something like that. Or we need more camera controls for that. And then that made me feel bad when the camera swung around and I saw the black background there. Like, oh, sorry. There is actually the full like wraparound background for the VR version. I should come up with a way to like flip that on if people want to do crazy camera moves. Agent Johnson with pixie wings? Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, there's a VR version of the game. It's currently, you can get it on Oculus Rift. It should still be on the Rift store, but it's currently out of date. It's like 1.4 still. And it was on Gear VR. So basically the original like mobile and desktop Oculus stores. Gear VR is basically dead at this point. I mean, I should port it to the Quest because that would probably be a very easy port. But I'm also not sure like if I keep calling them Oculus. I guess they're Meta now, but I'm not sure if Meta would like want it on there because it's not, not a VR designed experience. It's more just like playing the regular game. It just happens to be in VR. But it's still kind of cool. It feels very much like you're playing a tabletop game or something. It's neat to like look down and see the guys there. I totally got sucked into just like working on the VR version for like months because it was just kind of fun. But yeah, there's a few things where, at least for some of the backgrounds, there's like a VR version where it like goes all the way around you. It's not especially detailed or anything, but at least it's better than like black. Oh yeah, there's a cardboard or Google VR or whatever it was called. It's kind of discontinued now, as Google things sometimes tend to do. But I think it's still there on the store. That might actually be the most updated VR version there is. I think that's in like 1.6 or maybe even 1.7 something. But yeah, so I need to, that's another thing on my massive to-do list. That's what I was going to do before I went off on this 1.7.20 tangent. Is I wanted to get all the store versions updated so then everyone has like V2 account access and it's nice and consistent. So that applies to like the VR versions. I need to get those up to date. 1.7.20 of course takes precedent now because the game is all torn apart. So I need to finish stitching it back together and then I can get those updated. But yeah, I'd like to get the Oculus version updated and stuff. I know. Oh, another thing that's a bummer about the Oculus version is that you need basically a controller. Like the very early versions of the Oculus Rift, they just came with like an Xbox 360 or Xbox One, I guess at the time, Xbox One controller. Like that was before they had like the touch controllers that you swing around and do all that stuff with. So the game doesn't actually support the touch controllers, which so I need to do that. They like these little guys, and you've probably all seen these. which I have to figure out like how to make the game support these out of the box, because basically each hand has like 2 buttons and a thumbstick basically and a few triggers and things like that. But it's like Bomb Squad's default setup is like 4 buttons. You know, it's like the standard like Super Nintendo style, like those 4 diamond buttoned arrangement that's been kind of the standard for a long time. So need to figure out how to like map that to this. I could use like the right thumbstick for some of the buttons or something, or use triggers for certain things. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I need to solve that. But I'd like to get, that would be great to at least like, so anyone with like a modern VR setup could play with the controllers that the VR stuff comes with. Oh, the second video. Sorry. Let's get this going. The part of guy who's exploding his teams with ice bombs, that reminds me of a painful experience I had once. Like a very cool video, but yeah, it reminds me of a formative experience where I was playing Myth 2, which is a super old game, but you know, it was like a real-time strategy game. You have these little like, medieval armies, and then you know you fight with your armies. But I had this like wizard dude, and I had no idea how to use them. And it was like I joined this big game. It was like a 3-on-3. We each had these like big armies lined up. And I was like trying to figure out like what the heck to do with my wizard dude. And I poked a button which made him like launch a fireball like right in the middle of our 3 combined armies and just like annihilated my entire team. And I was just like, oh shit, oh sheesh. It was like the most embarrassing moment of my life, I think. But it was also kind of hilarious. So I quickly left the game then. Yeah, this is an interesting idea, like a section in the shop with cosmetic stuff. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Like, what if there were things like goggles or hats or whatever that you could use with different characters? Like, there's part of me that thinks like that's super awesome. Like, we should have everything be interchangeable. But there's also part of me that thinks like there's something fun about a character that's completely like designed, to look a certain way. So I'm wondering if there's like a happy medium there or something like that. Because on one hand, you'd have to kind of like limit character design if you want every character to be able to wear every hat, like you can't have the character's head be too big, or their eyes have to be a certain size if they're going to all wear the same set of glasses, things like that. So, I see the upsides and downsides of both. I wonder if there's a happy medium where it's like certain characters can have different options or something, or like, maybe you could have a character that, I don't know, like a certain character that could wear a number of different hats, but not all characters necessarily. Anyway, that's a random tangent. But I do like the idea of like, being able to customize stuff in that way. So, Ivan, speaking of that, I keep forgetting we need to get to Ivan's thing. Are you talking about what I think you're talking about, or is this something different? Like your AI stuff? Nervous. Oh, I hope that didn't sound too nervous. If I'm talking about just like feature ideas, like that's real laughing. If it's talking about like, the implementing of it, that can be nervous laughing. Yeah. Okay, well, which... All right, what is this? This is very dramatic. Sorry, I'm so glad for this. Serious. This is intense. Whoa. Very cool stuff. Dang. That was some just awesome stunts too. That weird like backflip bomb drop thing. I'm always telling people, when we're talking about the game, that a lot of these names for things like bomb jumps and certain like moves and techniques and stuff like that. Like it's interesting how they just kind of evolve or like come out of like the physics of the game is in the game, and it just like lends itself to certain strategies that come out, and then people assume that stuff was like planned. It's just like, oh, like what are your thoughts on like this bomb jump thing? And it's like, oh man, that's cool that people invented that, but which is really neat to see. Like I feel like that's the fun of doing a game like this where it's like so much physics and stuff, is that people just come up with like strategies that work with the physics, and it's not so much as like everything is designed. It's more just like, here's a playground and people play with it. A pet shop. Well, we do need we do need the mini penguins. So yeah, mini Pascal has to happen. It'll be the next Baby Yoda. It's gonna be big. But yeah, Ivan, I wanted to show people your AI stuff. So are you good if we show people that? Cool. So do you have do you have the link handy, or the server I should join, or the video, or I'll let you kind of turn-based RPG. That would actually be kind of interesting. I don't know. Or just an RPG, like, I don't know, if you could make like a super mini or super simple like RPG mini game or something like that. Fix the long leg glitch on Epic. Oh, I assume, I think I know what you're talking about, but at some point there was like a button press limit, like a rate limit added in to stop people with turbo controllers from doing weird exploity stuff. I'm guessing that probably prevented the same thing. Let's see. Do you have Ivan? Do you have the address handy? Or I guess, well, will everyone join the server then? What? Oh yeah, AI, that's right. Okay. That would do it. Maybe. Taipei. Oh, it probably will be at the bottom of my list. Oh, Squadbot AI open test. I'm assuming that's it. If I can get a ping. Ooh, this might be painfully far from me. Uh-oh. Come on, ping. Come on. Oh. Oh, okay. So Ivan was showing me this stuff before. So it's basically like a AI trained to play the game. So Zpan, like, I assume this purple, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the AI, and this is the standard, like, Bomb Squad AI? Or this is, like, the trained AI? Oh, wait. Oh, that's a real player. Oh, so this is, oh, okay. So this is playing against your trained AI. Mom, I'm in stream. I'm sure, I mean, I can join. I'm happy watching. I'm sure my ping would be atrocious too. But yeah, Ivan showed me, showed me a recording or whatever of these bots versus the built-in squad bots, and they were winning, which is super cool. I just think the idea of, I don't know, I haven't played with AI stuff and training and all that, but I love that whole concept. So I think it's super cool that you got something up and running here. Aw, go Mr. Pengu. I remember Mr. Pengu. Pengu. Oh yeah, how should we pronounce it? Please correct me if I'm ever, like, I know Mr. Pengu is probably not the most serious thing, but if I'm ever mispronouncing a name or something, please correct me. But yeah, this idea of like training bots to be able to be good at the game, like, to me that's fascinating, because I know we were kind of having Mickey Rog and I were having kind of an extra nerdy conversation about bot AI the other week, and one of the things I think maybe we mentioned is that it's hard to get a bot AI that would be able to do crazy physicsy stuff, like, throw a bomb gently so that it rolls down a hill and like kills someone or something like that. Like, it's really hard to code in all of that, like, physics variations. It would be hard to come up with an AI that would be smart at that. But it seems like something like training an AI, like, that could actually get good at things like that, theoretically. I mean, obviously this one is probably limited to flat surfaces and things like that, like, similar to the built-in stuff. But it would be interesting to, like, see if it would be possible to train an AI to actually, like, be good at crazy physics stuff. So Ivan, is there anything you could tell us about like what the setup here is? That people might recognize, or how you like trained these things? Just in the chat, or if you have any links or any info. Like I said, I'm pretty dumb when it comes to this stuff. I've not done any like machine learning or any of that kind of stuff. I'd love to, but I haven't. Go squad bot. Or I know you said, like, you were showing me that video and you said that, like, the AI bots were beating the built-in bots. I'm curious if it's noticeable, like, if there's certain strategies that, like, the AI bots do that, like, the built-in ones don't, or, if there's certain things the training kind of results in, or, like, exploits, if they start, using exploits in some way, or... Oh, that's okay. I know that stuff is all very technical. I mean, that's some useful info there. PyTorch. I need to play with PyTorch. I love Python, and so it's awesome that Python is used for all this machine learning stuff. Again, it does get me thinking about, you know, like fun little games you could have where, yeah, like AI bots versus built-in AI bots versus real people, or almost makes me think of it as like a real-time strategy game. To see like a 10 on 10 and see who wins, you know? But while we're talking about that, as I mentioned, I love this topic. I love you know, machine learning and all that kind of stuff. Just what it could do with like physics. And I know we mentioned before, I'm always forgetting the name of the software that's used in like Grand Theft Auto 5 and I assume Red Dead Redemption and stuff that kind of, you know, automates ragdolls like walking around or dying or basically, yeah, kind of, it's basically machine learning driving rigid body sims and things like that. But that, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm so bad at like remembering random like software names that I don't use often. 10, 9, 8. But I remember like the first time that I saw this paper back in the day, like someone at a conference was doing a presentation on this. This one's called like Simulating Creatures, and it's from like 1994, I think, or it's from a long time ago, so it's like very ancient in terms of timelines, but it talks about basically doing this kind of evolution process of, you know, coming up with these random like rigid body simulated critters and then like training them to do certain things, like to try to swim through some simulated water or try to like reach a goal. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so like here's the movie from it. Again, this is super low res because it's from like the mid 90s, but this is just like evolved virtual creatures. So this is basically like little things, like little just rigid body simulations that just evolved to kind of be able to move. And so like they evolved to different like limbs or joints or, you know, shapes. So it's kind of cool to see though. It's like they're clearly like, some of these clearly look like nature, like that. You know, that looks like a fish. Some of them look a little weird. like how did you come up with that? Or this, like that's a very, you know, obviously something you see in nature, like little fish and snakes and things like that. But to me, it's just really fascinating. Like I love the idea of like these virtual things that are kind of alive in a way. Some of these are funny though. There's walking. There's a new way of walking, just like wave something around and you'll like skitter forward. We don't quite see these in nature. Oh, where'd it go? Why did it stop?
10, 9,
Oh, I get, was that all? Oh.
7, 6,
Shucks.
5.
Please join. Oh. Oh, I guess I can't come in. Oh yeah, it's like elimination. Duh. I will join. I'm gonna get totally owned though. It's like I don't have ping. I should. Is this version? Do I have ping? Oh, don't worry. I'm not very pro. I mean, well, I'll use the lag as an excuse, but even without the lag, I feel like half of you would probably destroy me. Oh yeah, my ping from here, let's... does this version have ping? Oh, that's not actually too terrible. I mean, I guess it's 200 is not great, but I was expecting something like 500 or 600.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh. Yeah, okay, sorry. I guess the speakers for my machine are probably really close to the microphone, so hopefully that's better. Yeah, playing with like 200 or 300 ping. I mean, it's doable, but it's not like great. But yeah, that goes back to was it? Yeah, a week or two ago we were talking about like how client prediction works, and so hopefully we can get that going. I feel bad talking about stuff like client prediction, which has like been coming soon for years and probably will still be for a while. But at some point we'll get it in there. Dang, squad bot. Going hard. Oh geez. Oh geez. Oh, not paying attention. Haha! Dominated by accident. I love it. So yeah, there's some other video I saw. Sadly, I don't have this one. I thought maybe it was this video. Maybe it's not, but it was something where it's like training. Euphoria, that's it. Euphoria, that's the name of the software I was thinking, where it basically teaches ragdolls to like walk and do actions and stuff. It was used for something Ninja, Pocket Ninja, some mobile game where you have a little ninja dude. I know we were talking about this a few weeks ago. But anyway, I saw something that was sort of like that. It was basically like training ragdolls to try and, walk or try to do little actions, and it was so hilarious because it basically just looked like drunk people. So it's like if you're sort of like training a ragdoll to try to walk around, like until it gets really good, and it's probably very hard to get it very good, it's just gonna look like a drunk person. So, but that's hilarious. Like I think that's like it'd be fun to have a game that is just nothing but like drunk people fighting or something. Yeah, I mean that sounds bad, but just like these weird little bots that can like barely stand up. Oh no. Don't be scared. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show this because, yeah, this bot stuff. So awesome job, Ivan. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh, one punch. That is, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This one punch mode. I love. I've not seen that before. You all probably have. You're probably like, oh, whatever, this is old. But I love the line. That's oh, that should be. See, that is exactly like we were talking about having the idea of changing mechanics, things like epic mode being like a game mod or like a switch that you can flip on for any game type, something like that. It would be so cool to have stuff like this, like one punch mode, like being able to just like turn that on for like any game type, just to come up with like weird combinations, like epic mode, one punch mode, everybody's a chicken mode. I don't know. And it does a little like slow down thing. That's so cool. I don't know why I said chicken mode. I don't even know what that would mean, but we don't have a chicken character. We need a chicken character. I feel like in terms of like small animal characters, like just a chicken that like flies around, like that would be like I would love. I don't know what we'd do with it, but I feel like we need it. Like small penguin could be a little playable dude, but like a little flying chicken. Like in Zelda, if you're at least the old Zeldas, like the Super Nintendo Zelda I played, Link to the Past. If you attack, there were these little chickens, and if you like attacked the chicken enough, like hundreds of chickens started trying to fly and attack you. Like I'd love to have something like that, like a little like flying chicken that we could use as like a weapon or something like that. You get like chicken bombs and like throw chickens. I don't know. I'm sure we could use the chicken for something awesome. It would be interesting though to like see if you know, in the future, if you could train like an AI bot to just be like insanely good at the game, where they're just like unstoppable, like geez, sorry, I just got annihilated. But like, I'd wonder what the skill ceiling is here, you know, because it's like Bomb Squad's a little physicsy and a little, you know, even if you're good, like there's weird stuff's gonna happen and like you won't be perfect. But I'd wonder like what the absolute possible like skill ceiling is. Like if a bot was as perfect as you could be, like could they be unbeatable, you know? Max players. Oh, this isn't my server, so if you're asking to like set max players here, like it's not me. I'm just a participant. Chess engine flashbacks. What is that about? Is that what happened with chess engine? What happened to chess engine? Oh yeah, I mean, well, chess. I mean, AI has been like unbeatable at chess for years now, right? Like, isn't like the last human that won against AI, wasn't that like 15 years ago, or maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was one of those games where it's just like it's understood that a computer is going to be able to beat anybody. So, well, that's super awesome, Ivan. So yeah, thank you for showing us, and definitely keep us updated if you know keep improving it, or you. I know, as we were mentioning, some of this is on me, or you know, at least we need to add more support in the game for things like, you know, ray tests, things like that. If we want to make bots that are smarter, you know, so that they can like see the world around them a little bit more. You know, you were telling me like the inputs to this, it's basically, you know, player positions and stuff, and it doesn't really know anything about, you know, the terrain. So it's kind of like similar to the built-in bots in that it doesn't have much to work with. But it would be super cool, like, if we did start to... I wonder, like, what you would need to feed a bot for it to be, you know, useful. Like, if you just gave it a ray testing function that it could call, you know, a certain time of number per, you know, some number per frame or per step or something like that. Like, if it would be able to, like, evolve some sort of, like, sensory system out of that and, like, being able to... Oh, geez, it's me. Stop talking, start playing. Haha! All right. I still got it. Oh, good. Almost spin punch. Oh yeah, that's probably if the bot can't see bombs, that's probably a problem too. I guess that would so I guess maybe there's more than just a ray test we would need. Like maybe we'd need to communicate. But that brings in other questions though. Like what do we tell them about the bombs? Like, oh, there's a bomb here, but like if I guess knowing that there's a bomb somewhere flying through the air is a thing, but you know, ideally, like we kind of care what kind of bomb it is. You know, if you see like an ice bomb, you might run from it in a different way than if you know you see like an impact bomb. I'm curious who is closest here. Does anyone have like a good ping? There's probably some of you are with decent pings. 174. 91. That's not terrible, but there's one thing when I get for scene v2, I want to take a close look at ping values because I'm seeing that like even if I play like it was super awesome that we have this ping meter here now, but I was seeing geez here oh no. All right, to be continued. That's not good. But no, it's neat to see the ping, but I'm noticing like if I have a local server like on my machine and I connect to that, sometimes I still have a ping of like 10. So I'm curious, there must be something in the game that's like, I mean, maybe that's totally natural, but I feel like I should have a ping of 0. Like there could be just something where it's like it's waiting for the next frame to send out packets. There's probably some reason why I technically don't have a ping of 0, but I don't know. The perfectionist in me wants to make it so that if I'm connected to a local game, it's always saying 0. So that's something I want to take a look at for Scene V2. Or yeah, local ping being 5. But yeah, I kind of feel like it may not matter. I mean, 5 is a good ping or whatever, but I kind of feel like it should technically be possible for a local game to like always be 0. So, you know, just the fact that it's 5 or 10, that means that the game, in a way, it's sitting around waiting for something for a brief moment, even if it is very brief, and I don't like that. So I'd like to, you know, once Scene V2 is in there, which means we can start to kind of like futz with the networking code and stuff, I think that would be a great opportunity to just make sure that it is theoretically lag-free, or, you know, the game is not adding extra lag on top of what is already there. You know, because to some degree, it's like we can't control it. You know, we can't make the speed of light faster. Oh, geez, it's me. But, like, whatever we have control over, we should, you know, make as good as possible. Ah! I assume the AI does not see landmines also, so that's probably kind of a, unfortunately, effective way to stop them. Yeah, well, BS Remote, I can understand BS Remote because it's like Wi-Fi, and I feel like Wi-Fi can add a little bit of lag sometimes. Though even that, sometimes it's more lag than I feel like it should be. But also, yeah, I need to revisit the remote stuff sometimes. I think there's newer ways, I don't know, like with Bluetooth LE or something like that, there might be more ways where you can like communicate directly with the machine that's hosting the game just to cut down on lag. Because even like Wi-Fi, if you have a good Wi-Fi router, it still has to like send every button press to your router, and then your router has to send it to your tablet that you're playing the game on. So it's like, that's like 2 jumps for every button press. Whereas, you know, just going directly to the tablet that's like 1 foot away, that probably would be more efficient. So that's, yeah, another thing on my Epic to-do list is getting the remote updated. Like if you're playing on like there's the iPhone version of the remote and it's super out of date. It's still using like the old tiny iPhone screen size and stuff like that. But I need to get the Mac version of the game updated because that's what they test when they try to, when I submitted an update for the Apple, the iPhone version of the remote app, but they weren't able to test it because I didn't have the Mac version updated properly. So it's a big mess. So basically that's why it's out of date. Ooh, 15 ping. That's pretty good. Oh, and in a Delhi server? Yeah, that's good though. Oh geez. I'm so bad at, oh, too late. But yeah, 15 ping should be quite playable, hopefully. But yeah, I'm also curious, not to go into too much technical stuff about networking or whatnot, but, oh wow. But once we, if we can get to the motion streaming thing, like right now the game is sending these like giant reset packets out for like physics correction stuff, and those packets are huge. So like even if the ping is low, it still has to send like these huge packets a few times per second. So I'm wondering like that probably screws ping up in some way. What is this game about? You mean like Bomb Squad in general, or like the one we're watching? Is that a very, very deep question, or are you just asking about like what the game we're connected to right now? Right, please. Oh, right in chat? Oh, okay. So I'll go ahead and talk. If any of you want to like write, feel free. But yeah, we're watching an AI bot. Squadbot it's basically trained. It's a trained AI bot. And people are fighting it, so it's humans versus the machines. But yeah, I was trained with PyTorch, so like machine learning, all that fancy stuff. Ivan Pragma around here. He's around here somewhere, but he put this together, so it's super cool. So see, right now humans can mostly stand up against Squad Bot, but I'm sure, you know, Squad Bot V3 will probably be unstoppable. Take over the world. Yeah, I'm curious. Like I said, I'm curious what sort of behavior like a trained bot would come up with. Like what, like it's kind of neat to see them, you know, if they're doing like spins or, you know, certain things that like the normal bots don't do. Like I don't think I coded any sort of like spin behavior in there, but it'd be interesting to see if, yeah, squad bot type stuff started doing more of that, or like jump. Well, I think, yeah, I guess some of the bots do like jump. They have like a, if you look in the code, there's something where like they have a charge, and then when they get close to you, sometimes they do like a jump punch. Oh yeah, do you have different like difficulty settings for the bots, or is it just like they're trying to be as best as they can all the time? Oh, here I'm again not paying attention. I'll probably be. Oh, did I just die without even noticing? Oh man, I'm so bad at multitasking. Ah. But it makes me wonder, like, in a slightly morbid way, one thing about, you know, all the stuff I'm doing to host my own servers is that hopefully, you know, it would disallow like people hacking and stuff like that. Makes me wonder, like, would we get to a point where, you know, someone could code a bot that just like reads the screen and plays for them and like is super awesome. You know, something where it's like, even if I have my own server, like they'll still be able to use that. Hopefully not. I mean, I guess they have that to a degree with like first person shooters, right? Where it like scans your screen and looks for an enemy, and like aim bots that basically use the screen instead of like hacking the game. So it makes me wonder, like, if we'd get to a point where someone could train an AI to like be good at the game just by watching it. But then I don't know like how you would. I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, I guess. It certainly will be a lot better, like not having to deal with people just physically like hacking scores. that will be a load off my back. So I guess we'll deal with like the AI apocalypse when it happens. Oh geez, it's me. It's me. Wait, why was? Oh geez, I think I was glitching out there or something. I was. Ah, who wrote this? Yeah, I had like, it looked like I was stuck running. Do you guys run into that? Do you ever get like stuck running with like keyboard players? I know that's, oh geez, okay. Yeah, maybe I wonder, there must be some logic flaw in there where sometimes that can happen. I know I had seen that with like Android players, so I assumed maybe it was related to touchscreen, like multiple touches getting registered or something like that. But if it's happening with keyboard, then maybe that's not the touch system. Huh. Well, I'm curious when I respawn again if I'm still running down. If so, then oops. Then I need to fix something. So we will find out. Thank you for the warning. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, so now we're good. Oh. By good, I mean destroyed immediately, but yeah, the input problem was gone at least. Yeah. So I think that's, yeah, I mean, we still have a bit of time. We can keep going for 15 minutes. So that's basically all the topics I had for all the updates for this week. So we can just keep taking on these bots and chatting, whatever y'all feel like chatting about. I open chat, the last key gets locked in. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, this is, okay. It'd be great to fix that sort of thing. I know there's some like slightly hacky ways the game deals with it right now. Like there's some code where like if an AI element appears, it will like reset all the input presses, but that probably doesn't work 100% of the time. So I'll have to see if there's like a cleaner way to do that that would work like all the time or something, because that's super annoying to have your character just like keep walking when you didn't intend that.
Yeah, it happens mostly on computers.
On computer, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if any, on that note, like if you can reproduce it, like if there's a 100%, clean way to reproduce it, and you can like show me that, like a step-by-step thing, like that would be super useful, because if I can reproduce it on my end, then I can at least fix that particular case. It always seems to be something that just like randomly happens, like in the middle of playing though, or something, and that those kind of bugs always suck, because then it's like it's hard to reproduce them, so it's hard to fix them. It's like finally Eric's paying attention. Oh geez. Oh, look at that punch. Oh, yeah, not so good. That bot is good. He's all with the, oh, go Tiger, go. It's interesting seeing a bot that does like grappling and stuff like that. It's, I think that's something else I didn't really code the built-in bots to do, because it's kind of a hard thing to do in any sort of like effective way. Oh, so you said you can reproduce the input issue? That's super cool if you can. Oh, okay. Yeah, take your time. Oh, I just can't get over this one punch stuff. I just love it so much.
10, 9, 8.
Oh, nice. Well played, sir.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2.
Ah. Oh, right. I should have been just punching. Why was I throwing bombs?
10, 9.
Ooh. Some modes like this are just like funny when it's just like over the top, like that little like spraying stuff. I remember like when I played Halo games with friends, it was always like I'd love just like rockets mode where everyone just has rocket launchers. It was just complete over the top, bodies flying everywhere and stuff. But yeah, the neural network stuff is super cool
10, 9,
and slightly scary,
7.
but mostly cool. All right.
10,
I feel like that was a slight lag death. I feel like I punched him and then I like glitched.
9,
This game is buggy. I think I mentioned this before. I had a very like competitive friend who, one of those like competitive gamers, who whenever like they died, it was always like, oh, the physics are busted, stuff like that. And so like whenever my friends would be playing, like he was always blaming problems on like the game and the physics and stuff like that. And it always hit a little different because like then he would be basically insulting me instead of, you know, deflecting. He's like, "Who? This game is garbage. These physics suck."
10,
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Oh, nice. Well played, sir.
I love that I'm saying like "ooh nice" as Penguin is falling to his death. Oh, okay, so that seems pretty easy. So you start walking down, hold the key, bring up the chat.
Right, I should have been just punching. Why was I trying bombs?
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to make myself a reminder. Remind me to fix Bomb Squad in 2 hours. Okay.
10,
Hopefully I remember what that reminder is about. But yeah, I will definitely take a look at that. But yeah, if it's as easy to reproduce as that, that's perfect. Like that should be quite fixable, I think. Like I said, I feel like there's part of me that feels like I should fix it in a better way. There's like right now, I think it's kind of a hack where it's like whenever that window or whenever the UI comes up. Oh geez, I've probably died like 5 times while I've been yapping here. But yeah, basically the game says like whenever a window pops up, it will like reset buttons, and there's probably some case when it's not doing that. But I feel like there's probably a cleaner way to do it where it doesn't like have that very specific like thing it's looking out for. But yeah, in general, like with this development type stuff, it's always, that's why you always hear people saying like, oh, you need a specific repro case, because it's like to be able to fix something, you have to be able to see it happening. You know, occasionally, like looking through code, you know, you can kind of figure out like, oh, this probably worked wrong. But it's much easier when you can like see for sure what went wrong, and then verify that it, you know, no longer goes wrong. A pause button in the replay menu. Oh yeah, there probably, I don't think that exists. I feel like we need a proper replay menu too, like with a, you know, like a playback bar that you could scrub through, or, you know, just something that looks a little bit more, like right now it's a few random buttons. It's pretty ugly. So I kind of feel like that kind of all goes along together. Oh, I'm up next. Ah! Okay, I'll slightly blame that on lag too. I feel like I didn't compensate for the lag properly. But I'm not blaming it on lag. I don't blame things on lag. It was me. A slider bar, or yeah, I mean maybe not one that you could actually slide, but you know, something. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look into like how hard that would be to do. But if nothing else, just like a normal set of playback controls, you know, where it's like play, pause, fast forward, stuff like that. Right now we just have like the plus minus, I think, right?
Yeah, something like cut the clips
Yeah.
would be cool.
Oh no! Holding coffee.
10, 9, 8, 7,
I guess one punch mode doesn't really matter if you have gloves. Ha! It's been a while.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Nice. Ooh. I feel like this like one-on-one mode is actually kind of nice for these situations. It's sort of like At least for me, you can kind of talk most of the time. Granted, I miss when it's my turn, but it's kind of a fun little thing in the background. I just need to like see where I am in the queue before I take my coffee sip. Okay, I think I'm safe.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, we're about to wrap up, so we'll just keep this going for about 5 more minutes, and then I gotta get back to work on 1.7.20, which is going to come out here at some point soon, I swear. It does actually exist. Like I'm I'm torn on like whether to start putting, throw it up on GitHub and start putting test builds, but I kind of don't want to in a way because, things are still changing a lot, and so anyone who updates their mods to make it work with 1.7.20 as it is right now, like you'll probably have to make further changes like as it finalizes. So I'm a bit torn on whether that would be a good idea or bad. Oh, it's not. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we're not in the single punch mode anymore.
10, 9,
Ah, too far.
7, 6, 5.
Not so great. But yeah, you're probably right. Just a pause button would probably be good. So maybe we'd have like plus minus pause. That could probably be something. Honestly, that would be pretty easy to add if anyone wanted to do that. Like if you go find where that UI is, it'd be probably asset source, Badata, Python. Currently in standard library, UI. I think here, probably, is there a replay? Replay, playback, something? Oh, watch. Here we go. So if we look here, there's probably something. Oh no! This is not it. This is the watch window that shows you all of your replays and stuff. Arg, where is? Oh, maybe it's just in main menu. Is it the main menu UI?
Isn't the place in the C layer?
Is what?
Isn't the place in the C layer?
Oh, maybe.
Or not? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, let's see what we found here. What is this? I found something that has a plus button as text. Wait, what? Yeah, it looks like this is it. Yeah, add, here we go. Add speed up, slow down buttons for replays. So yeah, it's in main menu.py, this little buddy here. So you could probably, if you want to mess with this, just add a new button widget in the middle. It's like a pause button or to the side or something like that. And then we just need to wire that up to, something like this, like change replay speed, except have it like start and stop instead of putting it up and down. So yeah, I feel like that would be very easy if someone wants to tackle that, or I can try to get to it at some point, but you know how I am with my to-do list. Python is nice and easy. It's I feel like Python's good to learn. I mean, it's not that different than C. It's just once you get used to the using spaces as indentation or using indentation as syntactically meaningful, stuff like that. Yeah, plus, I mean, there's so much stuff like with C and C++ that when you learn it, it's not that bad, but, having to deal with, like, pointers and dereferencing pointers and references and all, like, what all that stuff is, it's kind of like, Python is nice and simple and that there's none of that to worry about. I mean, as are most languages. I think there's very few languages now where you're directly dealing with, like, memory addresses and things. It's all a bit more like Python. Okay, I am prepared. Ah, too far. Oh, geez. I feel like this should have like a rating of like how well you did, and mine would have been like a 1. Oh.
10, 9, 8.
So yeah, if you feel like doing something with the main menu, I will try to. Again, I know I'm like holding up the whole system here by taking so long in this 1720 thing, but I'll try to get this wrapped up as soon as I can. So if there are pull requests waiting, things like that, we can finally get those pulled in. Or I haven't actually been keeping a close eye on it. I know it says like the build is broken if you go on GitHub and stuff. It's been that way for like a month now or something. But I promise you, I'm still working full speed on this stuff. It's just like it's one big giant chunk of stuff that'll be landing at some point. All right, so we're basically at the end of time here. So I'm just gonna, we'll finish this round and then I'll probably call it a day. All right, anyone have any last topics, questions, thoughts for the day? It sounds like, so next week, Sock should be available so that we should be doing the new Explodinary update, 2.3, see what he's been up to with that. So that'll be fun. And if anyone else has any stuff you'd like to talk about or show or anything next week, feel free to holler. Can you tell which function to call to pause the replay?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Oh, I'm not leaving yet. I'll be leaving after this round. Yeah, so we still have 17 points. Yeah, it's probably something like that, like set replay speed to 0, but then you probably need to, like remember what it was. So it's probably like store the current speed, set it to 0, and then restore once you resume. There's a chance that might not be exposed. So, oh geez. Anyone who's just listening and not watching is just going to hear a bunch of OGs this week. Oh, dang it. Too slow. Need to put that in the game somewhere. Like, oh geez. But yeah, there's a chance if that isn't exposed, like there might just be like a plus minus, like a relative speed adjustment exposed in the seed layer. We might just need to like expose, or we could just expose like a play pause, or just like a pause resume function, or we'll see. Either way, it shouldn't be hard to do, but we just may need to do it. Bear says, oh geez. Yes. Some pro playing potato. Pretty evenly matched so far, like in general, which is kind of awesome. I'm curious, like with vanilla bots, would we be like destroying them or, oh geez. Stupid squad bot. Go humans. Yeah, I guess ping is probably making a bit of a difference. Oh. Nice. That's Just a little insult to injury there at the end. Speed. There we go. Yeah, coding speed runs. Who can add a pause button faster? I mean, I know it sounds super easy adding pause button. There's always like little bits of polish though, you know, in terms of like making sure the button updates to be like a, you know, from a pause icon to a play icon, etc., etc. Bear side view. Oh. Thought I could at least take him with me. It's true, but we have to do lots of things, like be able to like make breakfast and walk and stuff. The bot just has to play Bomb Squad. I have like two. Say OGs and then die. Look at that angry, angry bot. He just doesn't know what to do. Yeah, it does just look like it's like very, it's like rabid, like rah, 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 rah. It's like Tasmanian devil down there. All right, looks like humanity may pull it off. Just 3 more. Oh, I said rabid, like rabies. But rabbit works too. But rabbits don't really make angry noises. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Oh, that was terrible. That was also terrible.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
just end it. Ah! All right, it's not over yet. We need 2. The bots only need 4. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, come on, Team Humans. Uh-oh. It's going to be very demoralizing for our species if we lose this. Whew. All right, 1 more. Come on, Penagu. No, Penagu, no! Oh, we've done it! Humans are still on top. Okay. Whew. Well, good job, everybody. So I guess I will... Core i9s. Yeah, well, those i9s are nothing to mess with. Well, good game, everyone. That was fun. And so, yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in today, and been fun chatting. like I said, if anyone has anything you want to talk about next time, or demo or anything like that, feel free to holler. Otherwise, I'll be here next week and see you all at the same time. That was a lot of fun, actually. That was a fun thing to kind of have going while chatting. So, well, thanks for having me. So, yeah, Explodinary next time. That will be fun as well. Explodinary is progressing at a insane pace. Like it's it's crazy how much stuff gets in there in a short amount of time. So it makes me feel like I'm slacking. So I need to go get back to my 1720 updates and hopefully finally get them done someday. But anyway, been fun, everyone. So I will talk to you all guys next week. So peace out.
Bye, Eric. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. So see you all.